So let us in this part of the tutorial try to install Tableau Server 32-bit. Now, the moment you double click on this, there will be a pop-up which says, hey, click on yes to install. And then you would get another pop-up which says that since you have a 64-bit operating system, why don't you try and install a 64-bit version of Tableau Server? Why do you want to install 32-bit version instead? We will first install the 32-bit Tableau server on this computer, which is slightly low in configuration. And post which we will also try to install Tableau 64-bit on a different configuration server. Let me click on OK to proceed further. Here is the installation wizard that we are seeing. Let me click on Next. By default, 32-bit version of Tableau server would get installed on this program files x86 folder. We, if at all, try to install 64-bit Tableau server, then the default location would be C colon program files. Let me click on browse here, and you have program files. 64-bit Tableau server will get installed in this location by default, and x86 is for 32-bit. So let us proceed by clicking on next. All these files are being copied to the said location. And one more thing that you need to bear in mind is that Tableau server listens over port 80, port number 80. What if that port number is already in use? If you have IIS, which is Internet Information Services, installed on your machine, that would by default listen on this port number 80. Hence, we can upfront check on which port is being used. Before that, look at this. Tableau also installs a lot of additional applications and components which are required for Tableau server to operate properly. And in order to check whether IIS server is installed or not, you need to go to a specific location in Windows. I'll show you that in a moment from now. But even before that, look at this. Tableau installation has thrown a warning message which says that with the given configuration, you can proceed with the installation. However, the minimum recommended is 8 GB, 32 GB, so on and so forth. There's 8 cores, my bad. You require a minimum of 8 cores. That is what Tableau suggests you, or recommends you rather. And when it comes to the RAM or memory, you need to have 32 GB RAM. And available disk space, which Tableau would recommend is anyways 50 GB. You have in excess of that, so this configuration would be more than sufficient for us to proceed further. Now let me click on next to proceed further with the installation. You need to read this agreement, and this is end user license agreement. And Tableau Server 9.3 was released in Feb 2016, hence that number is coming here. You'll have to accept the agreement in order to be in a position to proceed further. And what is the shortcut that you want? And where do you want your Tableau server various options underneath this to be placed when you go to probably all programs and check where Tableau server is installed, right? So this is your value that you're giving Tableau server 9.3. Let me click on next now. And now we can install with these. Installation would take a while. Let this installation proceed while I explain you all about how to look on whether IIS server is installed or not. Right? How do we check that, and why do we need to even check that? We need to check whether IIS is already installed or not, because if it is already installed, then it would start using that particular, let's say, 32-bit version of Tableau server. Right? How do we check that? We need to check whether IIS is already installed on IIS server is already installed. Then it would start using that particular, let's say, 32-bit version of Tableau server. port number, which is 80. So let us look in. So we need to go to command prompt first, or rather, we need to press the window key on the keyboard and press the R keyword. The moment you get this pop-up, you need to type services.msc. And now if you click on OK, it would show you services window. You need to manually check whether IIS server is being installed and is it running here or not. Do we see IIS? No, we do not see any pertaining to that. So we can be happy to see this, that port number 80 is available for our installation. What if IIS is already Internet Information Service is already installed and it is running currently and using port number 80? In that scenario, you can make use of port number 8000. That's the next preferred port number for Tableau. We are on the verge of extracting the files, completion of extraction of the files, and the installation also checks for PostgreSQL drivers. That's a data source. And if we do not have any, it would automatically install one. Now let me click on Next to configure the Tableau server. Setup is initializing the Tableau server, and if we already had another version of Tableau server, it is going to migrate the existing data. And this is how the upgradation happens basically. So let us wait for a moment to see what happens when it comes to the initialization of the Tableau server. Here we have a pop-up which says Windows Firewall has blocked some features of this app. You need to say that you need access to be provided. Now that we are installing this for the first time, we need to start a trial. Let me click on start the trial now. But yeah, that's the same pop-up there. Let me click on this. And it says we were unable to start your trial because the following error occurred. Your trial for this version has already ended.